It's finally Friday. It's Friday, Friday.
Thank God it's
All right, welcome back to the Friday Show. I'm Scott Jagow, along with Ray Paulick. We're glad you could join us this week. We're going to start with some developments in Pennsylvania. The National HBPA, the Horsemen's Group, has created a nonprofit legal defense fund for owners and trainers who are facing charges related to horse racing activities. The one client that's using this money right now is trainer Murray Rojas, who's facing more than 50 conspiracy and wire fraud counts. Ray, what do you think about this legal defense fund idea?
Well, lots of professions have them. Journalism, for example, has a legal defense fund. The HBPA's motto is horsemen helping horsemen, so it makes perfect sense, and some might say it's long overdue. The thing that some people might also question is whether or not Murray Rojas is the right person to give the money to in light of the charges against her, which are federal charges.
And the word federal there is the key point, I think, in terms of why this is happening right now. The HBPA is seeing that the FBI is involved in Pennsylvania horse racing and has been for several years now. And with these charges, it's kind of unusual. I think what they're saying is, hold on, this should be a state matter. She is violating state regulations, and the only reason that the charges are federal is the conspiracy and the wire fraud because the purses are exchanged across state lines. So that's kind of a tangent that the feds are using, and I think the HBPA is saying, hey, this is a bad precedent.
Right. Yeah, I mean, she's charged with illegally administering therapeutic medication to horses on the day they race, and then conspiring with the veterinarians, several of whom have already pleaded guilty, to backdating the records and covering it up. Those are serious charges, but as you said, those are things that should be settled by the Pennsylvania Horse Racing Commission. And does it really need the FBI to come in and say, oh, just because there was purse money involved and the purse money moved from a bank in one state to a bank in Pennsylvania, it all of a sudden becomes a federal crime?
On the other hand, we've gone pretty far down the road in horse racing, and not a lot has changed in terms of drug issues. So, people are still talking about how it's happening behind the scenes. It's not getting caught on drug tests. We've been over that. So federal intervention, maybe that's a little more of an intimidating force. I'm not advocating for it, but a lot of other things haven't worked, and state racing commissions have failed to do their job in a lot of cases. So, but it's curious that Pennsylvania, and also there's a case in Louisiana involving a vet and a compounding pharmacy in another state. Those are federal charges. It's just curious that why Pennsylvania, why Louisiana, and only those two states where the FBI is involved.
Yeah, this investigation in Pennsylvania has been strange. They've gotten guilty pleas from a clocker, from some other trainers on lesser charges, and from the veterinarians that I mentioned. And for some reason, they are really putting the hammer to Murray Rojas. Maybe it's because she started out as a cooperative witness in this investigation. She was talking to the FBI agent and providing information to him on other trainers. And then lo and behold, they came to find out by looking at the vet records that they alleged that she was doing the same thing that she said the other trainers were doing. Now, there's been a lot of hearings on this, and one of them that I found interesting, the FBI agent had to testify before the judge about Murray Rojas, and this is what he said. She liked to justify her criminal misconduct by stating often that this happens everywhere. She says, everybody does it. I don't see the big deal. She would often tell me that. So, as I said, if the idea of a legal defense fund is fine, but if you're going to, write a check to it to support in this particular case, you might want to hold your nose when you're doing it, because this is not the kind of person that I think represents the industry in the best light.
But on the other hand, back to your original point, horsemen helping horsemen, and you look at other areas of our society. Recently cities have developed legal defense funds for illegal immigrants, that kind of thing, versus what Trump has talked about doing. So throughout our history, we've had these coming to the aid of people who can't afford to have a proper defense. And I guess that's really what it boils down to. What do you think? Let us know. We have a poll on our website asking for your opinion about this new legal defense fund. All right, let's move along. You know what time it is? It's Derby Dollars contest time of the year, which is always fun. This is our 4th straight year doing this, and people have really enjoyed it. It's a great way to find your Derby horse, for one thing. Have fun with friends and family, and it's free, and you can win some money, too.
Yeah, this is our 4th year. We've got Stats Race Lens, which is going to be providing some information. They're helping sponsor it this year, along with 123bet.com. Go to derbydollarscontest.com. Sign up. It's free. We've got cash prizes. You get free past performances from brisnet.com to help you handicap the races each week. People from Stats Race Lens are going to help with some information every Friday. It's a lot of fun.
I'm anxious to learn more about the Stats Race Lens, and what they can do for your handicapping and really sharpen the focus of it. So I think that's going to be a nice addition to what we're doing with the Derby Dollars contest. But I've had a lot of good feedback about this for the last few years. We're glad to bring it back. I also want to mention that we do have a new podcast that I'm hosting called Around the Track. It's presented by TaylorMade. It just launched, and we're getting ready for the 2nd episode, which will feature jockey Chris McCarron of Hall of Fame ilk, and he has some great stories to tell. It's really focused on stories in the racing industry, and so far it's been a lot of fun. Michael Blowen was a great first guest. That's available on our website, on iTunes, and through the Horse Radio Network app, which is really easy to use and grab on your phone. So check out Around the Track as well. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Friday Show. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.